Let's give it up for our soloists. Pat McCabe on the guitar. Zach Speedback on the tenor sax. As they get transitioned, that chart was called Halfway to the Hudson, programmed a little bit selfishly because our family was made whole last November when Hudson came into the world, so that's for him. He doesn't know it because he's only 6 months old, but there you go. That chart's for him, halfway to the Hudson, even though it should be full to the Hudson because he's fully into the world now. The next chart you're going to hear is a little bit slower, a little bit more somber and lyrical. It's also going to feature a nice fancy flugelhorn. We have this rich history here at Notre Dame College Prep and at Resurrection, going all the way back to the Melodons era back in the 1960s, 1970s, and a gentleman by the name of Paul Baltzer came in a couple of weeks ago and asked if we'd be interested in accepting a donation of his brother's flugelhorn. It's the same notes, it's the same everything, it's just a richer, warmer sound that fits a little bit better with a lyrical style, which is what we're looking for here with this chart. So this is going to be played by one Caden Frawley, and I don't think Mr. Bassa is here today. He is not. Okay. All right. But again, Paul Bassa and I believe his brother Andrew Bassa, I think that's right. Is that right, Mr.? I have no idea. I should know, and I don't. I brought the sheet out, and the sheet is now in the midst of all this stuff in front of you, like you see. Anyway, this chart is called Flyway, also by a group named Lucky Chops from New York City. A little bit slower. But like I said, it's going to feature Caden Frawley on the flugelhorn, and then a lot of tenor saxophone. So here we go. Hopefully we did it justice, but Hudson's not smiling, so oh well. The next chart we're going to have, and the last one the jazz band has, is Donza. The original name is Donza 2016, because Lucky Chops is totally brainchild, and they just said, we came out with it in 2016, why not label 2016? Because I'm a geek and I am into that sort of stuff, they came out with another chart, Donza 2020, last year, with a little bit different of a feel and a vibe and some parts to it. This is Donza 2021. We have a instrument change. We had Franklin on drum set for Hudson, and then as you saw, a lot of percussionists were playing some mallet instruments for Flyway. Now we're going to have Sean Gall on drum set. This is also going to feature one Patrick McCabe on guitar and one Zachary Spiewak on tenor sax. Hopefully you enjoy Donza 2021. One more time for our soloists, Pat McCabe and Zach Spiewak. Sean Gall on the drum set. Good work, Jazz Band, good work. All right, we're going to transition now to percussion ensemble. If you would like to move a little bit closer, if you're on the track back there and you want to scooch a little bit closer, because you can't hear it for some reason or other, feel free to do that. But we're going to take a couple of minutes, feel free to use the restroom, grab a drink of water if you need to, and we're going to make this transition as quick and as seamless as possible. All right, so if you couldn't, wow, that is really, really loud. I'll quiet down a little bit. I'm used to using my dad voice. If you couldn't tell, this is percussion ensemble based on the program that you have, and the fact that these are five percussionists that are just banging on some things and making some music with it. Release the Kraken was meant to be symbolic of kind of this, obviously, this kind of Kraken, I don't even know what you want to call it. You can tell that I totally prepared for these speeches. These sea monsters, that's what I was looking for. Words are hard at those with the volume and such. The last one, Guac is Extra. If anybody frequents Chipotle, it's written about Chipotle, and that's not a joke. Guac is Extra at Chipotle, and it was written in kind of that Latin spirit, if you will. That's why you saw the bongos and the congas and the things like that, and that kind of feel to it. The last one we're going to do, Five Guys and Some Fries. We're going with a restaurant theme this year, or this semester at least. Again, is also written in commemoration of Five Guys. Very on the nose. Percussionists are creative until they have to create names for their pieces that they make. Then they're like, well, if I write it for a restaurant, then I'm going to name it after the restaurant that I write it for. So the last one is Five Guys and Some Fries. It's going to start out slow and pick up pace a little bit. And the ending is going to you're going to see stretch some and then whip back to center at the very end of the piece. Looks like I need to stall a little bit longer so that the guys have a little bit more time to coordinate. I can always say this, thank you for coming out. We were blessed by the big man upstairs with beautiful weather. It rained yesterday, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So thank you again for coming out. Hopefully you had plenty of food brought to you by Cappy's. And the owner of Cappy's is actually going to speak here in a moment after we play this piece. And Symphonic Band is transitioning from the bleachers on down to get set up. I'm going to talk to you about a number of things as well as introduce himself if he hasn't introduced himself to you yet. But I think we're all set to go. We're all good to go? All right, they're all set. So again, Five Guys and Some Fries. Then you hang out with us for a little bit, and we'll transition into the next group. One more time for percussion ensemble. Let them have it. Thank you. Nice work, fellas. Nice work. All right, as I mentioned, the owner of Cappies, Mayor George, is going to come say a couple of words. While he's doing that, I have 2 bits of information before he talks. Symphonic band, if you want to start making your way down to the track with your instruments, shortly after he goes, we're going to have some student-led ensembles play. We have 3 groups for you this afternoon. All student-led. I have no hand in any of this stuff. This is all led by them, all coordinated by them. All the practice that you, or that they did for it was all coordinated by them. So they put these charts together. You're going to have 3 of those. And then after that, we'll have symphonic band play, and then we're on to our awards and banquet portion of the afternoon. So without any further ado, Mayor George from Cappies.
Thank you very much. So I was asked to come out here and just speak to everyone. I have a big mouth as it is. I don't know that I need this microphone, but I first of all wanted to start out by saying good afternoon to all the Dons and their families that are out here today. How about a big round of applause for all the guys out here with the marching band? So I was asked to just come out and introduce myself and just give you a little tidbit, but I was just elected the Village of Niles' new mayor. A lot of you know me from Cappies, which is right down the street here. Thank you. But I wanted to take a moment just to tell you how important Notre Dame really is to our community. I remember back in the early 2000s, there was just some rumblings that, they weren't sure where this school was headed. And I was sitting as commissioner of the zoning board at the time, and I spoke to all the other members on the zoning board, and we knew how important it was to make sure that Notre Dame was here for the future generations. Everything that they've brought into this area, from taking young men and turning them into upstanding citizens, is second to none. I'm a prodigy of the Chicago Public Schools. They do have a Catholic high school education. We're not going to talk about where I went. I don't want to get anyone upset. But I'll tell you this much. As I look around, and I've been pretty tied into the school via the restaurant and via the village over the last 2.5 decades, I think there's no finer institution here in the Village of Niles when it comes to the education. And the things that are done, the things that happen, and the way that you're developing these young men to really be prominent in society is really, once again, just second to none. And it starts at home, of course, and with a strong family background. But if you truly look at it, more so than that, is that the children are in school pretty much more than they are at home with their parents. A good 7 hours a day, 6.5 to 7 hours a day, just rock solid time. And the stabilization and everything that they do and the atmosphere that Notre Dame provides to all of them really is something that always needs to be carried forth. And I just wanted to say that I'm very proud to have Notre Dame as part of our village. They're somebody that we brag about all the time, not only education-wise, but if you even take a look at the campus itself, just situated right in the middle of a residential neighborhood, and the neighbors are very welcoming, and you guys and everyone here conducts themselves great. There's just a communal feel to everything. And the building itself, there's a lot of people say, oh God, when are we going to get a new building? But, one of the hottest commodities right now across the United States is all the mid-century modern architecture. And this is the epitome of that mid-century modern architecture. The houses are selling for 20, 30% above what the asking prices are nationwide. I don't know if a lot of you know this, but every year there are 1 to 2 architects that come in here from Europe and normally study the gymnasium, and especially the roof on the gymnasium, because of such a different type of structure and architecture that was put into it. So, as a matter of fact, they just had to help each other out in other fashions and ways as well. I'm not a politician whatsoever. I really am not. There's nothing I like about politics, but I believe in community. And we just want to say, myself and all the elected officials of Village of Niles and the citizens, that we're grateful that you're here, and may you carry on many, many long years together. Thank you very much.
Okay, check. Check. Good enough. Check.
Hi.
Check. Check. Check, check, check. Can you hear anything going on? Gonna get on top We learned this in a day and a half, so We learned that one in even less time, so. Probably about 20 minutes. I hope you didn't like Rush.
Seems that you
didn't
get,
sound so bad anymore.
they get more laughs than I do. What is that all about? All right, symphonic band, if you want to start making your way out, grab a chair, grab a stand. Percussionists, make sure all the equipment is set up, ready to roll. The goal is to start in about 7 minutes. Parents and friends of the band, if you didn't get a chance to, there is a group, not only on social media, but in general, called Friends of Notre Dame Resurrection College Prep Band. It's our version of a booster program, so a lot of the parents that were in charge of helping out to make this day possible, from food to the invitations that you got via email to some of the setup to other things like that, are a part of this group. If you want to know any more information about it and you want to take a flyer, you can either come see me or Mrs. Kroc over there on the track down there is our quasi-point person for this whole group. When you sign up, you're not necessarily signing up to be a part of it, you're just signing up to get more information about it. So again, if you are remotely interested, no pun intended there with COVID, but if you're remotely interested in joining this group and helping the band out in whatever capacity, whether it's setting up for concerts or helping us out on a regular year to do some grade school tours and some other in-house concerts like in the gym and at Resurrection, things like that, and you want to know more information, again, you can come grab a flyer either after Symphonic Band goes, before the banquet starts, or at the end of the afternoon, or you can go talk to Mrs. Kroc once again, who is down there on the track. Hopefully you've been enjoying the show. I know it's been getting a little hot. I apologize in advance for the transitional times. In between groups, there's just a lot of equipment going back and forth, and it can get tricky when only so many hands are available at one time. But I promise you, Symphonic Band is the last one, and then we'll transition into the part that I know the students love the most, which is the awards portion of it, where we can honor our seniors. Thank you for all the hard work that they've put in over the past 4 years, and get some general information about the end of the year and going into next year. So hang with us a little bit longer. We're going to set up here and hopefully get started in about 4 minutes or so, right around 2:30, maybe a little bit past 2:30. Symphonic Band, as you can see on your program, has 4 different charts that we're going to be playing. Each one should take us up to about 3, maybe 3:10. The nice part about this is that transitional periods only relegated or determined by the percussion section in the back, with those gentlemen switching instruments and everything else with that. So again, hang tight. Hopefully you've had enough to drink. Hopefully you've had enough to eat and your belly is full and your heart and your head are both happy and you're enjoying the Sunday amidst all the rainy seasons that have been going on from yesterday to definitely this upcoming week. There's rain tomorrow, there's rain Tuesday, there's rain Wednesday, there's rain Thursday. It bodes really well for track season. I don't know if Mr. Jankowski's still here, but it bodes really well for track. Running in a wet track is a lot of fun.
All righty, folks, thanks for waiting. Thanks for being patient. I truly appreciate it, especially on a Sunday.
The pandemic has taken a lot from us. One thing that it can't take away from us is the ability to make music, as evidenced by today. So hopefully you enjoy jazz band, percussion ensemble, the student-led ensembles, and I think that's it. That's gone so far. And hopefully you enjoy symphonic band as well. We have 4 charts for you this afternoon. The first one is called Novelenio by Mr. Sam Hazo. It's going to have a fast, slow, fast kind of pattern and feel to it. And I hope you enjoy it. All right, now for something completely different. This one is very, very slow, very contemplative. For those of you not familiar with Philip Bliss, he was the one that wrote the hymn song, "It Is Well With My Soul." So if you listen closely, the melody that you're going to hear is based on that hymn, and it's going to be passed around through a number of different sections. The difficult part about this piece, I don't like to use the word difficult, but the tricky part about this piece is the key signature, which is the kind of different combinations of the notes that the students have to play. It's out of the realm of comfort for many instruments, but we worked really hard on it, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope the message comes across. It is well with my soul. Hymn song, on a hymn song of Philip Bliss by David Holsinger. If you're anything like me, you're a geek and went out and saw the last Avengers movie. If you're not and you didn't see it, you're missing out, but I'm heavily biased. That was the first time in a long time that we had gotten a babysitter for our boys and went out as parents. That's how geeky I am. And if you did get to see it, this is a compilation of the soundtrack of that movie. It's a little bit backwards for those that, again, are geeky like me and kind of know the order of events in the movie. If you're not, just enjoy the fact that we're playing Avengers for you and sit back and relax and enjoy the show. But the next tune we have up is soundtrack from Avengers Endgame, and it's going to feature our baritone soloists, James Graham and Teddy Reifke. It's going to feature Zach Spiewak on solo. Am I missing anybody that's got a solo in the song? All right. And it looks like they're almost set up. So again, Avengers Endgame, let the geek in me come out a little bit, and something that I know that they enjoy to play. And we got many, many comments from the student body at Notre Dame and from the staff wondering if we were playing this chart, and I said, yes, we were. And I said, thank you for making me feel better about myself because you recognize what we were playing. It's not often that we play something and people are like, I know what that is. So here it is. as I get switched up for their final piece, Rough Riders, I would like to take a moment to thank all the people that made today possible. I can't do it enough. I would do it again at the banquet. I would do it again tomorrow and the day, next day, and next day, and next day. Not enough things can be said about the village, the community it takes to make all these things possible, especially in the middle of a pandemic. So can I give a special shout out to Mrs. Spiewak, wherever you are, Mrs. Cisneros, Mrs. Kroc for organizing the food. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. To the Crawleys for sending out email after email after email. Thank you for your help. Sure, you can clap for them. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Clap for them. To everybody who braved the heat, I know it gets hot and it gets beat down, especially as you're sitting in those metallic bleacher seats. But thank you for coming out again. I said it before, I'll say it again. I can't thank you enough. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. Literally, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be standing on this very hot track talking to all of you because they wouldn't be here. Students, give your parents a round of applause. Bet you didn't see that coming. Seniors, go ahead and stand up. This is your last show. It's our last hurrah. Jumbo, you can stand up too. You can stand up too. You're a senior too. Rocking the bass guitar and jazz band. We'll honor all of you here in a moment, but I wanted to make sure right before our last chart that you guys were all, and gals were all recognized ahead of time, but you guys will get your comeuppance here in a couple of minutes. We have one more chart for you, Rough Riders by Carl King, a classic American Gallup march style. A lot of programs use marches to kind of give an encore. Hopefully you can stick it out for another 2 minutes or so. That's how fast this piece is going to go as we play Carl King's Rough Riders.
He's tuning. A couple more thank yous to offer. My boss, or my first boss, Mr. Jankowski. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. It looks like my other boss had to go home to take care of a nap time with his son. Mr. Tully was here. Thank you for him for all his support. He didn't have a chance to find just Coach Hennessy. He allows us to do a lot of it. He opens up the realm of possibility to allow us to do a lot of things that we do out here. Marching band season, symphonic band season, jazz band, you name it. He's the reason why we get to be outside. So if you get to see him sometime today, make sure you thank him from the band, from yourself as well. And the media crew who's live streaming this, thank you guys for doing what you do. You give them a hand. Literally work behind the scenes to provide for you all of the things that you can't get normally at home with you. Now, without further ado, here's Rough Riders.
All right, so there's the musical portion of the afternoon. And we're going to move on into our quasi-banquet awards ceremony, where we're going to honor all of our seniors, as well as some outstanding musicians in the program. I'm going to give some important announcements regarding the rest of this year, going on into next year, everything that I would do in a normal banquet setting. We'll start this up in a couple of minutes after the students get all situated, because I know it's important to them that they hear not only the information that's being disseminated, but also the seniors being recognized and the awards that are being handed out. So let's let them kind of pack up their stuff really quick, and we'll get started in a couple of minutes.